What is going on, everyone? It's time to finish off the negative side of our state series. The state that gets the honor of being the last not to video is a state that I've grown to know and love over the last year. The Mountain State, West Virginia. West Virginia's gotten a bad rap over the years. They have problems, just like all other states, but their problems tend to become punchlines more often than other states. Just this year, a local Charleston female news anchor and her weather girl got into a fistfight over a man at Charleston's only local gay bar. One of them was sent to the hospital with a fractured skull. Say what you will about West Virginia, but their weather girls know how to throw down. Now, I wasn't going to do a video about West Virginia. I have friends there that really care about the state. I didn't really want to offend them. I don't mind offending a lot of people. I don't like to offend my friends. So that's why I wasn't going to. I mean, the Mountain State gets a bad enough rap. I just didn't want to add on to it. But I also been getting so much crap from my subscribers that I wasn't going to do West Virginia video. I thought I better. West Virginia is right here. It's ranked 41st in size and 38th in population and was admitted into the Union on June 20th, 1863, making it the 35th state. They're also home to the best local community radio station in the country, WTSQ in Charleston. If you're thinking about moving to West Virginia so you can be closer to WTSQ, you should watch my top 10 reasons not to move to West Virginia. Number 10. Animal lovers. When you love your pets, that's a good thing. You feed them, shelter them, pet them, but when it turns into heavy petting, it officially got a little weird. At least weird in most other states. In West Virginia, it's fine. I found it hard to believe that bestiality is legal in this state. They have no laws against it. I looked it up. Most states see it as a crime, not West Virginia. They figure whatever a man, a woman, and a llama want to do in a barn to two midget strippers isn't the government's business. This one did catch me off guard. I was a little bothered by it. I just assumed that this was a serious crime everywhere on the planet except for maybe Greece. I was so naive. Number 9. Joerger. Charles Elwood Chuck Joerger is a former United States Air Force officer, flying ace, and record-setting test pilot. In 1947, he became the first pilot confirmed to have exceeded the speed of sound in level flight. This man loved to live on the edge and had no fear. In his honor, Charleston, West Virginia, in 1985, named their airport after him. If you ever fly into Charleston, you'll see why you have to have Chuck Joerger balls to land here. If you live in Charleston, you know this already, and if you have relatives that are nervous flyers, tell them to take a Valium before they land and possibly bring some adult diapers. This airport is short and it's on top of a mountain. It's kind of scary. I landed there this last summer and I swear I thought airbags were going to pop out of the seat in front of me when they hit the brakes on this airstrip. It was harsh. Now, over the years, they've had a handful of planes skid off the runway. Most recently, a UPS cargo plane, obviously, I think that's all they do is cargo planes, went off the runway and into the woods and killed 2 on board. This airport is not for the faint at heart. Number 8. Coming out. One of the biggest problems with moving to West Virginia is telling your family. Most people will tilt their heads to the right, look at you for a second, and say why when you tell them. Kind of feels like you're coming out to your parents. This is because of the reputation West Virginia has acquired over the last century or so. The thing is, that's it. It's just a reputation. West Virginia is not half as bad as the stories you'll hear. I mean, it's not like it's Mississippi, right? These are good people that in a lot of cases just want to live a simple life. And there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't judge them. I mean, every religious and philosophy book out there has warnings about judging people. And yes, I'm aware that sounds strange coming from a guy whose channel pretty much judges things, but, you know. That's life. Number 7. Poverty. West Virginia has their fair share of people living below the poverty line. Actually, I think they have a couple states' fair share. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the country. There's about 1.8 million residents with a median income below $36,000 a year, which makes the state the 3rd poorest, right behind Arkansas and Mississippi. Now, recently things have been looking up, and they're hoping to pass New Mexico soon. Let's hope. But hey, at least they do lead the country in people stomped to death by unwilling bovine, so that's something. Number 6. Roads. West Virginia roads are the worst. They're very windy, bumpy, and dangerous. I mean, to be expected. This is the mountain state. They have so many potholes on their roads, you'd think you're living in war-torn Syria. Make sure you buy tires with guarantees, because you're going to be blowing out a lot of tires, I promise you. Number 5. The school system. The education system in West Virginia is pretty strange for a couple reasons. One, the Mountain State is seen as having the 5th worst school system in the country, but it also has the 3rd best graduation rate at almost 90% in 2017. It's quite strange. It's like two opposite ends of the spectrum. Just this year, the state even went as far as lowering the graduation requirements. Okay, so you got a 90% graduation rate, you're one of the best in the country, and you want to make it easier for kids? You're doing something right. Why make it easier? Why would the state lower these requirements? It's almost like they're cooking the books, so to speak. Number 4, weird politicians. As if West Virginia doesn't get enough weirdness, it only gets weirder when you talk about the politicians. I'm not sure if weirder is actually a word, maybe it's more weird, but I don't know. Moving on. I'm only going to talk about the more current political situation they have in West Virginia, but they have a long, twisted history of political moves that are just mind-blowing. But more recently, Senator Joe Manchin, he's a West Virginia senator who happened to be the only Democrat to vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh. Now, in one way, this was the proper move. It is said that most of his voters requested this, so he broke ranks and did what his voters wanted to. That's what a politician's supposed to do. Now, the thing is, did he really? His demographic is changing, and it's changing fast. He even had a group of very brave wives, sisters, mothers, and grandmothers try and talk to him at his office. They didn't get to see him, but they did have a brief phone conversation with him that didn't satisfy anyone. They stayed and eventually were arrested. Now here's where the dick move happens. The half-wits that work for the senator put paper up over the windows to hide the arrests, or at least stop the people from outside filming the arrests. My question is this: why? Did you forget all the people inside have these fancy devices called cell phones? Those cell phones have cameras, and they connect to the internet, and they connect to the internet cloud, which I don't know what it is. Keep hearing about the cloud, but I have no idea what it is. I'd like to explain it to you, but I just don't know. Number 3, Don Blankenship. Don Blankenship is a West Virginia coal business executive who ran for the U.S. Senate. Technically, he's still running. He lost his primary and decided instead of accepting loss, he'd just switch parties. This dude just doesn't know when it's over. This year, he made a commercial in which he bashes the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, calling him a swamp captain and accusing him of creating jobs for, and I quote, China people instead of West Virginia people. Because the leader's wife is Asian, this seemed a little harsh. He also has accused her of being a China person. She's from Taiwan. If you ever want to have a good time, watch some of Mr. Blankenship's interviews and commercials. They are just weird. He always looks like he's an awkward kid who's being interrogated about what happened to his homework.
Hi, I'm Don Blankenship, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Swamp Captain Mitch McConnell has created millions of jobs for China people. While doing so, Mitch has gotten rich. In fact, his China family has given him tens of millions of dollars. Mitch's swamp people are now running false negative ads against me. They are also childishly calling me despicable and mentally ill. The war to drain the swamp and create jobs for West Virginia people has begun. I will beat Joe Manchin and ditch Cocaine Mitch for the sake of the kids.
Oh, and did I tell you? He was in jail for a year because of a mine accident. They had so many ignored safety issues that they decided to put the guy in jail for a year because of some of the employees got killed. Number 2, jobs and unemployment. West Virginia has one of the worst unemployment rates in the country at 5.3%. They are ranked 49th in the country. The thing is, they're a major coal mining state. In some areas, that was 95% of the jobs. Coal isn't as in high demand as it used to be, so mines have been closing all over the state for years. And it's been bad. Normally, I'd have some joke or some weird story here, but it's just too bad. I hate it when things like this happen. I hate it when plants close, mines close, things like that devastate communities and families, especially with mining. A majority of those people that work at a mine don't know anything else. That's all they've ever done. And even if they did have some other skill, they'd have to leave their community to find a job. It's too bad. That's one thing about West Virginia. If you're moving there, make sure you have a job. And number 1. It's rural. West Virginia is extremely rural. Charleston is the largest city and it only has about 50,000 residents. It's not a big city. Most of the population is considered to live in the rural areas, and those rural areas are sometimes called hollows. Hollows are little communities cut into the mountain far away from the rest of the population, and the people there, that's how they like it. Most states have almost 2 different states inside each one. You have the rural and you have the city states in the state. In West Virginia, it's more like you have the city state and the rural planet. They're so different. Go to Charleston, Morgantown, or Huntington, and you won't really notice this state is any different from any other state. Wait, forget that. forget I said Huntington. That place is a little messed up. It's just so close to Ironton, Ohio, it's horrible. Anyway, most states have cities, and about an hour drive or so, you have the backwood types. And that's in every state. Every state has them. The only difference in West Virginia, those backwood people are about 10 minutes away. And yes, 5 minutes away if you're in Huntington. Stop typing. They are good people. They just like that woodsy type life. They don't like cities. When I was there last summer, I had several people go, if you're here to visit, just stay out of the hollows. I was like, I didn't know what that meant at first. I learned. I didn't go out to the hollows. I just kind of drove around and drive into the hollows. Those things get a little weird. All right, so that's my top 10 reasons not to move to West Virginia. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Here's the thing about West Virginia. It's a great state, and the people are amazing. The reputation that state has, and is slowly losing, it's just that. It's a reputation. If you ever visit, you'll see what I mean. I plan on going back, maybe cover one of the music festivals this summer. Maybe I'll see you there. Hope I do. If you do, and you're from West Virginia or Huntington, don't punch me in the face. But I would encourage everyone to take a look at West Virginia and go there and enjoy it. You can't beat the scenery in West Virginia. It's probably the best in the country. But anyway, don't forget all the links below. Have a great day. Be nice to each other.